Hello, my name is Sadie Wallace, and I'm going to discuss the value of human and non-human life, and if it is permissible to kill either an animal or a fetus. I'm going to use utilitarianism to present my argument. The value of human life exceeds the life of animals. Therefore, it is morally permissible to kill animals for food, but it is immoral to kill an unborn child. Any rational human being would agree that to kill another rational human being is wrong. However, there is less agreement when animals, mentally disabled, suffering individuals, and fetuses are involved. When is it okay to kill, and under what conditions? I will attempt to answer this question with my argument, but first, I must address the value that human and non-humans have. There are strong opposing views when it comes to the value of life that animals have. The relative value that is attributed to animals will vary from person to person. Peter Singer is one who has very strong opinions on the matter of animal value. And all animals are equal, Singer argues that just as discrimination between black and white, male and females, is wrong, so should the discrimination towards species be wrong. He terms this discrimination speciesism. All species are equal just as all human beings are equal, regardless of race or sex. Because all animals are equal, they should be given equal consideration of rights. The interest of every animal, regardless of its species, should be taken into account, and measures should be taken to maximize the happiness of the animal. With this argument, it is apparent that non-human animals have the same value as humans. To agree with this statement, you have to first agree with the idea that all species are equal. I, however, do not agree that all species are equal. In Michael Pollan's article, An Animal's Place, he points out some of the very differing views that people hold of animals. According to a recent poll, 51% of Americans believe that primates should be given the same rights as human children. However, there are many Americans who still see animals as things and having no moral value at all. Pollan falls somewhere in the middle of these two extremes, as do I. Animals are capable of feeling pain and pleasure, and that very fact does give them some value. They do have interest to avoid pain, and they are valuable enough to consider that fact when they are in our possession. Though animals feel pain and pleasure, and some may be self-aware, they are very different from human beings and should not be given the same consideration. Though they do not have the same value as humans, non-humans still have some moral value. What about the moral value of a fetus? Some people argue that the fetus is a lump of cells and does not become a human being until having moral worth until after it is born. In defense of abortion, Judith Thompson argues that abortion is permissible. For the sake of her argument, she proposes that a fetus becomes a person at conception. The fetus develops human characteristics such as facial features, fingers, toes, arms, legs, internal organs, and brain activity, all by 10 weeks. Because the fetus is a developing person, its life has value. However, Thompson believes the value of the mother's life and her wishes exceeds that of the fetus, but I will address this later on. I agree with other anti-abortionists and Thompson's proposal that a fetus has moral value at conception because the fetus is a developing person who will develop into a sweet little baby that will grow up to have a meaningful life. The fetus has a future that is full of experiences, activities, projects, and enjoyment. The very fact of having a future gives the fetus so much value. Now that the moral value of humans and non-humans are established, I can address the question that I stated in the beginning. When is it okay to kill, and under what conditions? Killing animals for food, being permissible or not, depends on if the animal is living in the conditions of a factory farm or a family farm. And all animals are equal. Peter Singer states that to kill animals for food is to regard our desire to satisfy our appetite for meat more important than the animal's life. The animals that we eat are not only killed to be our food, but live in the most terrible conditions. They live in cramped living spaces, in cages, and are considered to be machines. Factory farms prevent animals from living their short life comfortably. No measures are taken to maximize the animal's happiness and minimize the risks of harm. In fact, the animal's quality of life is not even taken into consideration. For example, at least 6 hens at a time are kept in a tiny wire cage in which there is absolutely no room to roam. The hens' confinement prevents them from fulfilling their natural instincts. The hens resort to attacking and eating their fellow hens, or rubbing against the side of the cage until their feathers are worn off and they are bleeding. To make matters worse, the slaughtering of the animals in factory farms is completely unethical and will make your stomach turn just thinking about it. Before an animal's body parts are dismembered, the animal is stunned so that it is unconscious. However, many factory farms do not stun the animals properly, or they are not given enough time to do so properly because of the fast pace of production. Many animals are still alive and fully conscious as they go down the assembly line of having their body parts chopped off piece by piece. The living conditions and the slaughter of animals in factory farms are unethical. The animal experiences only harm and benefits nothing. Family farms ensure that the domesticated animals live comfortably where their happiness can be maximized and the risks of disease, predation, and accidents can be minimized. The animals have the space to roam and follow their natural instincts. Because the animal benefited from this life, it is morally acceptable to use the animal for food. When it is time for the animal to be killed, the slaughter should be quick and painless. An example of a family farm is the Polyface Farm in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. On this farm, the animals are able to follow their instincts and be animals. The hens are able to roam around in a large pasture where they are free to do as they please. The owner of the farm slaughters the animals outside where he set up an outdoor kitchen. He is as tender with the animals as he can be because he wants the killing to be as painless and quick as possible. The slaughter of animals raised on family farms is ethical as long as the farm takes measures to maximize the happiness for the animal and ensures that the animal lives comfortably. The farm must also abide by strict regulations that ensure a quick and painless death for the animal. I've established the conditions in which it is morally permissible to kill an animal, and now I will address abortion. Though Thompson proposed for the sake of her argument that fetuses are persons at conception and have moral value, she argues that the right and desires of the mother far outweigh the value of the fetus. A woman has a right to choose not to undergo the risks of pregnancy, even if it involves killing the unborn child. Everyone has a right to life, including fetus. However, no one has a right to use another person's resources, even if it is for survival. Therefore, a fetus does not have a right to the nutrients that the womb provides, and a woman can choose to remove the fetus from continuing to use her body for life. By having the choice to remove the fetus from using her body, the desires of the mother are being considered. Having the option to choose will maximize her happiness. I disagree completely with the previous argument. Taking the life of another human is wrong because it deprives the individual of their future. Taking the life of an unborn child is wrong as well. The fetus may not value anything now, but killing the unborn child deprives the child of ever growing and having those experiences that it will one day value. The desire of the mother to abort the unborn child does not outweigh the harm of the child being deprived of its future. Another reason why abortion is immoral is that it may cause the fetus great pain. The nervous system and the brain are not developed enough for the fetus to be conscious and perceive pain until the 3rd trimester. However, the subplate zone, which is capable of processing pain, is developed by 17 weeks. This means the fetus can possibly feel pain as early as 17 weeks. Abortion not only deprives an unborn child the chance to live, but it also may inflict great pain. The immorality of removing a human life and depriving it of its future far outweighs the possible risks of pregnancy or any desires the mother may have to terminate pregnancy. In conclusion, animals are very different from us and do not have the same value as human life. However, they are conscious and are able to feel pain. Therefore, animals do have some moral value. As long as animals are raised on family farms, it is permissible to kill animals for food. An unborn child will develop into a fully conscious little baby that has a life to live. For this reason, a fetus has great moral value. Killing the unborn child is immoral because it deprives them of their future and it may cause the fetus tremendous pain. Thank you.